The courtroom buzzed with the low hum of whispered gossip, but Evelyn Hart heard only one voice, the cruel, echoing laugh of her soon-to-be ex-husband, Brandon Hale. He leaned back in his tailored navy suit, smirking as if the entire court existed solely to applaud his triumph. "Your Honor," Brandon announced loudly enough for every spectator to hear, "my wife doesn't even have a lawyer. She can barely afford her rent in Brooklyn. I'm not sure why we're wasting the court's time." End quote. Laughter rippled behind him. Even his attorney grinned, tapping a Montblanc pen against a stack of immaculate documents prepared to rip Evelyn's life apart. Evelyn sat alone at the respondent's table, clutching the frayed strap of her thrift store handbag. Her heart pounded so hard it shook her breath loose. She had rehearsed every possible response, every plea, every way to defend herself, but none of it mattered now. Brandon wanted a public humiliation, and he was getting it. Her cheeks burned as his mistress, seated smugly behind him, whispered loudly, "Poor thing, maybe someone can start a fundraiser for her." Heat flooded Evelyn's ears. She swallowed, fighting the tremble in her voice. "Your Honor, But before she could speak, Brandon cut her off with a raised hand, as though silencing a child. "She's wasting everyone's time. Let's finalize this. I have a board meeting in an hour." To Trosses. His arrogance filled the room like smoke thick, suffocating, impossible to escape. The judge lifted her pen. "If the respondent has no representation, we will proceed." But then, the heavy courtroom doors slammed open. Every head whipped around. A tall man in a charcoal suit stepped inside, the Manhattan skyline glowing behind him through the glass hallway. He walked with a calm authority that instantly quieted the room. Evelyn's breath caught because she had no idea who he was. He approached the bench, set down a leather case, and said in a steady voice that sliced through the silence, "Your Honor, I will be representing Miss Evelyn Hart from this moment forward." Brandon's smile froze, mid-victory, and the entire courtroom erupted in stunned whispers. Evelyn Hart sat frozen as the mysterious man in the charcoal suit stood between her and the destruction Brandon had prepared. She didn't dare breathe. For 3 months, she had fought this battle alone. No lawyer, no money, no support system. She had walked into this courtroom like a lamb led to slaughter. But now the entire room stared at her, as if she had unleashed a weapon they never saw coming. The judge lifted a brow. "And you are?" "Cole Ramsey, Your Honor," the man replied smoothly, offering his card. "Attorney of record for Miss Hart. Effective immediately." Gasps scattered through the courtroom. Even Brandon's attorney sat up straighter, recognition tightening his jaw. Cole Ramsey was not just a lawyer, he was one